What it is when you hear the slow beat bringing and the lady singing this big firm doing his thinging. Been a great show for you today. Been an awesome show. We talked about Arizona, the ugliness of Arizona BYU, and the crowd in Arizona at the McKell Center going way too far, disparaging a religion because of a bad call. It was out of bounds. It was out of bounds. Then we talked about Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. We've got a trilogy on our hands. And also, where do you put this trilogy? Where do you rank it in your top five? If you had a top five, leave it in the chat. Before that, Deion Sanders' son, Shedeur Sanders, he refuses to throw at the NFL Combine, and he's only throwing at Colorado's Pro Day. Find out what we think about that. Also, why are major news publications mad about this? That's weird. Anyway, and he's not the first athlete to do it. That's what doesn't make sense. Then in the opening segment, we talked about the brilliance of Shakur Stevenson. He dealt the beating to left Twix, right Twix in Riyadh Saturday. And I don't think anybody at 135 can beat him. So we go from the world of college basketball in the Big 12. We walk right across to the East Coast in the Big East where Rick Pitino, that dude is back. And he's back with a vengeance. Shout out to Rick Pitino, because for all of the ugliness that went on in Louisville, that was really about a power move and a power grab to get him out of that university. But Rick Pitino has St. John's at the number one spot in the Big East. They beat UConn. They're having a phenomenal season, and you can't keep a good coach down. You can't keep a good coach down. We'll get into this a little bit more when we come back from a rap album, because I want to go ahead and really slow walk this one because he deserves it. He deserves it. This is Big Vern. Where's my rap album at?
Vern. It's your boy Big Vern coming to you live from the Amp Stupid Studios with another rap album we pushing. I'm telling you, it's like Christmas today. Staley, Gamala Krogan in stores now. Get it where you legally consume music, whether it be Apple Music, Google Play, or Spotify. My personal favorites on the track is going to be 10%, Godly Breath. On the patio is fire. Just fire. First Class Mage, Look Mommy, and Count Your Blessings, featuring Currency, aka Young Spitter, Jet Life, Staley, in stores now.
Yeah, shout out to Staley. I thought it was dope. So when we talk about St. John's just dealing the beating to UConn, 89-75 at home, that really stood out to me, because whatever you think of the Johnnies and Rick Pitino, he's 25-4 right now. And I know the bigger, flashier conference right now is the SEC, because they say the SEC is this gauntlet where you have the Auburns, the Kentuckys, the Floridas. Okay. But when you play in the NCAA tournament, we'll see who's standing. We will see who's standing. And the physicality of the Big Ten, well, the Big East, these guys, they always go far. The physicality in the Big Ten, they always show up. Izzo, he shows up. Hurley, they show up. Now Pitino, you got to put him in that same light. They show up. And what they were able to do to the reigning and defending champions, And don't get me wrong, UConn, even when people say UConn is having a bad year, UConn is 18-10. They're not a destitute team. This isn't like they fell off the map or a Kenny Payne Louisville situation. No, no way whatsoever. Rick Pitino has won 25 games with St. John's. That in itself, he has to be comeback coach of the year. He has to be in that running. And I know Kentucky fans, they were all moist in the panties and hot and mad that Mark Pope wasn't mentioned in the whole Naismith conversation. But I'll be honest with you, Coach Cal didn't leave him in a bad situation. Kentucky was not a winless program. If anything, Pat Kelsey at Louisville came into a burning building and turned the culture around. And he did it, and he didn't have big names. They just play for one another. They play hard. But credit to Pat Kelsey for turning the culture around for Louisville. L1C4 for life. And now you have a situation where Pitino, he's back home in the New York tri-state area. He's got the Johnnies, and they are playing phenomenal basketball. They shot 46% from the field, 30 of 64 shooting. Then downtown, they shot 42%, being 8 of 19. 24 points just in three-pointers alone. Then they shoot free throws very well. That is a character and a staple of a Rick Pitino team, is that they shoot free throws very well. They were 77% that game. It was a physical game on the boards. They conceded to the Huskies 36-39. That could have went either way. On the offensive end, it was 15-18. That's where you had the discrepancies. Get no second chance points. But it wasn't as if they were just punked out on the boards. They were diving for balls. They were out there hustling. I mean, that is a DNA of a Rick team. Play constantly. Play through being exhausted. Making free throws when you're exhausted. And I think he's going to turn out some good pros. You will start to see more pro players stick around in the league longer because they know their roles coming out of a Rick Pitino St. John situation. I really do believe that. The Johnnies, they share the ball really well. In 20 assists, the ball did not die at the top of the perimeter, or guys wasn't just sitting around watching a guy dribble between the legs, give you a hezzy, step back in a three. No, none of that. Guys were passing, cutting, crashing. That's what you want. You want talking on offense. Who's going where? You want to go ahead and direct. You got your general, your floor general. I mean, again, I can't find anything really bad to say about St. John's. That they did really well is that they controlled not only the turnover battle, winning that, but they also had 11 steals. When you have 11 steals in a basketball game, that creates a lot of tension for the opponent, because you feel like no matter where you throw the ball, whether you're throwing it to the post, whether you're throwing it out on the wings, even if you have guys in the edge, if you have long, linky players that are able to clog up the passing lanes and anticipate the pass and jump the lane, now you created more havoc just in having guys guard the lane in the pass in between players. It's kind of like it's really like the DNA of the pack line defense, where I'm in between guys in the gaps and I'm stretching. And that's what makes a zone look bigger anyway, when people stretch and they have their arms wide. So it starts to look like a parking lot in between the box. But again, this is basketball talk from a basketball guy. So that's something different that you have to actually square up with. That's not somebody just feeding you jargon to be like, oh, I'm going to intellectually masturbate. No, man, look. That ain't me. That's somebody else. These are for people who actually hoop and who know, oh yeah, and coaches who just like, yeah, this is what we need to improve on. But shout out to Rick Pitino. If there is a Coach of the Year award or comeback of the Coach of the Year for me, Rick Pitino would have to be aces. He would have to be aces. And to me, he is still the only coach to win a college basketball championship at two different schools in the same state. Yeah, that's a hell of an achievement. That's a hell of an achievement. So congratulations to Pitino and St. John's. This is Big Bird.
Well, that's the show. Thank you all for joining us. We had a great time. Make sure you smash the like and subscribe button and share the content. This is Big Vern, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.